Hello. I have started my first FAIRYLOOT book for a vlog. I started this one, The Hurricane Wars. I have the audiobook for four of my FAIRYLOOT books. I'll show you really quick what I have. So I have the audiobook for Son of Blood and Ruin, Valhart Huntsman, and Shanghai Immortal, as well as The Hurricane Wars. And then I'm waiting on these two, which shouldn't be too long. I think they both said they only had a few weeks left on the hold, so that would be perfect timing for when I get to that. Just a little bit of like backstory for FAIRYLOOT. I'm no longer subscribed to them, and I would like to say that I canceled because it was like the money or something like that, but no, that wasn't it. I unfortunately had a really terrible experience with their customer service when I moved to the place I live now. So I had three books sent to the wrong address, and then I had to pay the post service more money for them to deliver it to this address, even though I changed my address in their portal. One of the times I even responded to their address check email with plenty of time. Like, I responded as soon as I got the email, and they still didn't update it. And so when I emailed them saying, hey, are you gonna fix my address ever? Because I've gone in and changed it multiple times. I've even responded to your email check or address check emails, and you didn't fix it then either. And now I've had to pay like over $30 extra shipping on top of how much these books already cost. So that's why I canceled, because the response from their customer support at the time was dumb, to say the least. Like, it was really annoying. They pretty much said, oh, well, you should have fixed your address yourself. That's not our fault. Even though I did it, and it never saved, and it never got fixed when I responded to emails asking me to fix it. So that is why I don't subscribe to FAIRYLOOT anymore. It's very sad because their editions are very pretty. Like this one, this is the inside. That is gorgeous. And then the edges are incredible. Like, and I went back and looked at all of these special editions that I have held on to after reading, that I liked enough and liked the edition enough to keep. And I think like either a third to a half of them are all FAIRYLOOT, and then the others are all Owl Crate. So, spoiler alert, I have not ended up keeping a single Illumicrate book, unfortunately. They're very beautiful, but their content is just not for me. So anyways, getting into the Hurricane Wars. I think I'm like 30-ish% in, and somebody in Discord said something that I wasn't really thinking about when I started reading it, but once they said it, it definitely made sense. And they said that this is supposed to be, I don't remember the like pet name that they give this couple, but it's supposed to be like Katara and Zuko from The Last Airbender, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. And I definitely see it. I get it. I get the comparison. And I think that this was born out of like fan fiction about those two. I think that the synopsis tells it better than I could. So I'm going to read that to you really quickly. It says, Taliesin was left on the steps of Sardovian orphanage as a baby. All she has ever known is the Hurricane Wars as her people fight for freedom from the tyranny of the Night Emperor Getheris. But are they truly her people? Taliesin dreams of one day finding where she comes from, her family, and the source of the magic that flows through her veins like sunlight. Alaric of House Osanost, master of the Shadowforged Legion and Gaheris's only son and heir, has been honed into a weapon by his father. Tasked with obliterating the neighboring Sardovian Allfold, Alaric focuses on only one goal: extinguishing all threats to the Night Empire with his armies and his storm ships and his shadow magic. So for those of you that have watched The Last Airbender, I'm sure you can tell who's supposed to be Zuko from those descriptions. The synopsis goes on and says, that is, until he sees Taliesin burning brightly on the battlefield with the same light magic that slew his grandfather, turned his father into a monster, and ignited the decade-long hurricane wars. He tries and fails to kill her, something about her making him pause, allowing his now greatest enemy to slip through his fingers. But a new horror emerges from across the Eversea, one that promises to cause even more devastation than the hurricane wars. Only Taliesin and Alaric can stop it. Will these mortal foes be able to come together, or will they end up destroying each other and dooming their world in the process? I don't know what issue people have been having with this book. I know that when it first came out, so this was... I don't think it tells me when it came in FAIRYLOOT. Hang on. Published by FAIRYLOOT and Harper Voyager 2023. That makes sense. I think this was one of the last ones that I got from FAIRYLOOT before I canceled. And I did move to this house, I think in 2023. When this book came out, a lot of people didn't like it. And right now I'm not really remembering what the critiques of it were. And if I'm being honest, I don't personally have a problem with anything in this book so far. It's obviously going to be enemies to lovers if these two end up being romantically involved. I don't know if they will or not, but based on the Katara Zuko pairing comparison, I think it would be. And there are a couple people in Discord who really like it, and they seem to be in the minority. Like, I think I put this in a poll because I couldn't decide which audiobook I wanted to listen to. And I put all 4 of the FAIRYLOOT ones in a poll, and this one won. And the few people who voted for it pretty much said, if you don't like it, don't tell us. Because we're sick of being let down and disappointed by everyone we tell to read it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why people aren't liking it. I really like the writing, if I'm being honest. I've only listened to it. I haven't opened the physical book to listen and read at the same time. I might do that. We'll have to wait and see. These books are all just so hefty and my wrists hurt. So, I don't know. Anyways, I want to talk a little bit about the author. So, Taya Guanzon, I'm pretty sure is how you say her name, is from the Philippines, and she still lives there. And she has 2 turtles named Dumpling and Potato Chip. That's interesting. Anyways, she wrote this, and she has also written a Dungeons and Dragons romance called Tusk Love that everyone's been loving this year. And I figured before I read that one, I should get to this one, because I already own it, and I don't own Tusk Love, and I don't want to buy Tusk Love until after I've read it, because I'm trying to be better about only buying books that I've read and loved. But everyone seems to be liking that one, so I'm interested to know why they all seem to like that one but not this one. Obviously they're very different vibes. Like, this is very political, war-torn countries, lots of battles and things like that. Like, I think we've already had 3 or 4 battles in the 30-40% that I've listened to. But I just don't know how they could go from hating this to loving Tusk Love. I'm very interested to find out. And I will probably read that after I finish this one. But yeah, that's where we're at. I think the point of the book that I just got to, Taliesin has supposedly found out who her parents are, and they have gone to seek aid and refuge with that family because their main home base was attacked and they lost a lot of people in this attack. But they need somewhere to go, so they go here, and we're finding out a lot about her family history, if she is actually who these people think she is. Yeah, you're getting alternating chapters from Taliesin and from Alaric. Is that his name? Yep, Alaric. You're getting alternating chapters from both of them, so we get to see both of their points of view, which I kind of like. I'm gonna go and work on a cardigan while I listen and wait for the dishwasher and stuff to be done so I can do my meal prep. And I will talk to you either at like the 75% mark or the end, depending on how my feelings change. If I continue to like it, I probably won't talk to you until the end. So I'm gonna go now. Hello, it's like half an hour after that first update, and we now have an arranged marriage. So there's definitely a romance happening in this book. Hello again. I am coming at you with a like 90% update. I think I have maybe like an hour total left, and I'm about to finish listening to it while I play a video game. But I'm really, really liking this. I think if you liked Shadow and Bone or Avatar: The Last Airbender, or if you liked both, I think you would really enjoy this. I'm definitely getting at least the Zuko vibes. I don't know about the Katara vibes, but I'm definitely getting Zuko from the male main character. Who his name is Alaric. I couldn't remember his name. I'm going to tell you a little bit more than what the synopsis told us. So Taliesin is like our main character, and then we get alternating chapters between her and Alaric. Taliesin ends up being the missing daughter for, I think the country's name is Nessamin, something like that. It starts with an N. I can't remember the country's name exactly. But she is the long lost daughter of a queen who, I don't know if she defected. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly what happened with her mom. But basically, Taliesin got left in an orphanage in Sardovia. And she finds out pretty early on in the book that she is the long lost daughter of this royal family for a different country. And she is also a light bearer, a light bringer. I can't remember exactly what they're called. And then Alaric is the opposite. He has the opposite power. But together, and I think the synopsis said this, they're able to open what's it called? I can't remember what it's called. Together, their powers are able to open something. And Alaric meets Taliesin early on in the book in a battle, and at that point she doesn't know that she's royalty, and neither does he, and she's going by Taliesin rather than her royal name. I don't remember her royal name. It doesn't say that in the synopsis, but she is going by a different name and is I'm not remembering the words for what she is. As I was saying, Taliesin is the long lost royal daughter of a different country, and Alaric comes. He's the Night Empire. He's the Night Emperor now. He has recently ascended the throne, and his dad is still alive, and he is just as awful as Zuko's dad is in The Last Airbender. But he comes to this country looking for the Sardovian refugees who left the last battle that Taliesin was in, and she took them to this country because it was the only place they could think of that they could hide. And she was like, well, I'm the royal princess, so they have to let me in. And that was like the justification, and now she is having to act as the royal princess instead of staying with her comrades. But she is posing as this princess, and Alaric has no idea that it's her. And when he first sees her, because they decide that they're going to do an arranged marriage. I can't remember exactly why. I think it was to avoid war, because when they came in, this new country has dragons, and that's like their big military force and what sets them apart from the rest. And the Night Empire ends up attacking those dragons and offending this new country. And they're like, well, if you will agree to a treaty and stop attacking our dragons, because you only attacked a couple and we have a lot and we can really destroy you if we wanted to, if you agree to have this treaty with us and marry our princess, then we can be cool. And so he meets the princess and he doesn't realize that it's Taliesin at first. It takes him a few minutes because she is so done up and looked so different from when he saw her on the battlefield. And it's an arranged marriage, but of course they actually fall in love. And at the part I just got to, they're like up on this mountainside training together, and they end up kissing. I mean, they hate each other, but it doesn't really seem like it if they're kissing on a mountain. So yeah, that's where I'm at. He is trying to help her train her power because she had to hide it up until this point. I think there is something about the past in this world where all of the Lightbringers were destroyed because the Night Empire just thought they were too powerful. And now I think Taliesin is the only one. So there's not really anybody who has this skill who can train her besides this guy, because his skill is similar, but it does different things, but the way to control it is the same. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I have about an hour left. I'm gonna go now so I can finish it, and I will report back either tonight or tomorrow with my final thoughts. But right now, it's definitely a solid 4. Now I know there's a sequel. I did not order the sequel. I don't know if I was given the option to order the sequel because it's been so long since this one came out and since I canceled FAIRYLOOT. I don't think I was. But I will look for the sequel. I might just get it from the library at first and see if I like it enough to pay the reseller price, which is probably outrageous. But yeah, I'm liking it. I'll report back soon. Hello and good morning. I am coming at you to do a really quick FAIRYLOOT update because I need to get going to work. But I did finish the Hurricane Wars last night and I really liked it. I was very surprised by this book. I did go to the reviews because I was a little confused about why so many people hated it. And a lot of them were saying things like they couldn't get into the writing style. They think that they would have understood it better if they read the source material. And I guess maybe this book started out as a fan fiction, which at the time was a pretty new concept. But nowadays, that's not a strange thing. I really, really liked it. I was very surprised. This definitely left off on a sort of cliffhanger. I won't tell you like the total ending, but I will say that they end up getting married, and that's almost the very end of the book. They never have sex. Like, they get married and they're expected to have sex. Everyone assumes that they're going to consummate the marriage, and they do something, but it's not sex. So their marriage isn't actually consummated. However, they both immediately regret it as soon as they're done. And it's not like they regret doing it, it's that they regret doing it with their enemy. And I think that they're like deeply in love with each other, but they're telling themselves that they're not, because one is the Night Emperor and the other one is the opposite of the Night Emperor and has been attacked by him and her life has been destroyed. So yeah, I really liked it. I ended up giving it 5 stars after I sat and thought about it for a while. I'm not completely sure that I'm set on 5 stars, but it's definitely a high 4.5 and I want to keep the book. Now that I finished the Hurricane Wars, I have 2 or 3 more books on my Libby. I'm only going to read 3 books in this vlog, but I will immediately start the next one, most likely. The next book that I'm going to read for this one is Son of Blood and Ruin by Marielle Larez, I think is how you say that. There's no picture of her. It says she is a Mexican-American novelist born in the only hospital of a small town in Southern California, which is also Cher's birthplace. And she's crossed the border from her hometown to Mexico almost every day. She's the daughter of Mexican immigrants. She holds a degree in computer science engineering and lives in San Diego. So I think that this is one of the most beautiful books I own. if not the most beautiful. I'm sorry, I can't actually see without my glasses. These are the edges. This is the inside. Oh, this cover actually has a reverse design. Ooh, 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 ooh. Look at that. So pretty. But yeah, I'm gonna start listening to this one today because it's due back in like 4 days and the rest of them have 10 or more. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna start. I don't know that this vlog is gonna have anything other than reading and maybe me like making coffee in it, but hopefully you at least like the book reviews. I got news at work that our new bosses, if you'll remember from my Illumicrate vlog, I was very stressed out because we got a new boss and they wanted to use a really old budget. It turns out that these bosses actually understand that my division is grant funded, and if you cut our grant funding, you have to return the grant to the source that we got it from. And so now we are a lot less worried about losing our funding and losing our jobs, essentially. I don't know about the rest of the departments. It sounded like the budget meeting went a lot better than we expected. And maybe they aren't planning on firing people. I don't know. But I feel a lot better about that. Still not feeling the best about the general state of the world. But things are getting better. At least for me. And I think I have a lot of friends who work for the Forest Service, and they are all very concerned about this government shutdown. I am also very concerned about this government shutdown. However, I think it might be for a good reason, because it sounds like this bill that they're trying to pass that the Democrats won't vote for will cut our health care even more than they already have, among other things. So I would like them to come to a different conclusion, if at all possible, because I would like people to have health care. But yeah. Also, I got my COVID shot, and that took a lot of weight off of me as well. I was very concerned because my partner and I both don't have PCPs, primary care physicians. My husband went to like a yearly exam a couple of years ago, and they ended up charging him over $500 for his yearly visit. And when he called the insurance to be like, hey, you're supposed to cover this, they were like, no, they put it in wrong and it's too late to fix it, so you have to pay for it. And he's never gone back because of that, which is really upsetting to me, because I would like him to, take care of himself. And also, until this weekend, I was told that we needed a prescription from our PCP to get the COVID shot. And as somebody who lost a parent to COVID back in 2020, it was really traumatic for me to be told that I couldn't get this vaccine, even though I wanted it and there's no shortage. So that was partially contributing to my poor mental health in the last few weeks. And work was another thing contributing. So now those two things have been taken off my plate. I feel not 100%, but I feel a lot better. Something else that was contributing to my really awful mental health was that another person at my husband's job got fired. They weren't really given the reason for why they got fired. I don't know if people are allowed to talk about why people got fired. But it sounds like this person was pretty much forced to resign. And, I mean, they just keep firing people above my husband. And eventually it's going to be him that gets fired. So that's not great, considering that he makes like $400 more than me a month, and it would really suck to lose that. To lose that and his entire paycheck, I think we would be okay for a little bit because he's on my health insurance and my job is now no longer in limbo. But he, I think, would have some trouble finding a job that paid that much again right now, if he was able to find a job in his field at all. So that's a little stressful. But this has been going on all year and we're both just really burnt out. and our anniversary is coming up, so we decided we were going to go to the hot springs this weekend. We booked a yurt, and we're just gonna go unplug for 48 straight hours, I think. I don't know if the hot spring, I'm gonna vlog part of it. I'm not gonna vlog the whole weekend, but I'm gonna show you like the pretty scenery and our yurt and stuff like that. I think that might end up in my Illumicrate vlog because I have a feeling I'm gonna finish this one before we go. And then next week, after we get back from the hot springs, I am dog sitting. Well, we are dog sitting. Mason's gonna help me. And we're dog sitting for a new set of dogs. They're very cute and they're very small compared to the dogs that I usually take care of. I'm excited though. I am dog sitting for someone that I work with a lot, and I like her as a person a lot, and I'm excited to hang out with her dogs because we met them once. One of them doesn't really like us, but she said that that's just how he is. He's just skittish until he gets to know you, which is fine. One of the other dogs that we take care of always takes a full week to warm up to us. He kind of just decides he doesn't want to eat when we come over for a few days, unless we put like an egg or something in it. So that's a little concerning when we start taking care of him, but otherwise, he's a good dog, and he does like us. He just misses his parents. Anyways, that's what I've got to update you on for FAIRYLOOT. It is a very rainy, chilly, cloudy day, so I'm wearing a hat instead of doing my hair. But I gotta go because I have a meeting at 9 and it is now 8:15. So I gotta get to work to make sure I get to this meeting on time. So I will check back in with you probably tonight. I might honestly listen to the entirety of Sun and Blood and Ruin depending on what I gotta do at work and how long it takes me to film my September wrap-up tonight, but we'll see. If I don't finish it today, I will probably finish it tomorrow because it's only 12 hours and I listen on 2x speed minimum. So I'm gonna go. I'll check back in with you later. Hello and good morning. I don't remember when the last time I talked to you was, but I have started Sun of Blood and Ruin, and I am liking it. I don't think I'm liking it quite as much as the Hurricane Wars at this point, but it's still good. I really enjoy the setting. So this book takes place right around the time that Spain came over to the New World and started conquering Mexico. And we have our main character who is part of the royalty somehow, but she's also like kind of like a Robin Hood situation. She's protecting the people of her country from the Spaniards who are treating them poorly, essentially. And there's this dichotomy of people who have transitioned to Christianity and people who still believe in the pagan gods. I'm not sure if pagan gods is the correct term in this part of the country, this part of the world. I'm not sure, but that's what the book refers to them as. It's generally people who believe in more than one god. They're calling them natives, so I'm assuming it's the people who were already there when the Spaniards came to conquer them. And we have our main character who is able to turn into a panther. And I think that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Also, I'm trying this. I'm almost out of, well, almost out is an exaggeration. I have like a third of a tub of moisturizer left, but I know I'm going to have to travel soon, so I didn't want my husband to be left without any skincare. So I bought a second moisturizer and I'm trying it out. I used it last night and it was nice, but I don't think it's thick enough for a nighttime moisturizer for me. I like my nighttime moisturizers to make me feel like I'm encased in like a shell of skincare. Like I want my face to be super moisturized and like supple and glowy at night so that it can soak in all of that stuff while I'm sleeping. But I like that. It's okay. I only bought it because It was on sale at Ulta. And I know that I like the La Roche-Posay sunscreen. I also picked that up because my sunscreen's almost out. This one. I've had multiple people tell me that anything above like 40 SPF is useless, and sometimes higher SPF does make people break out. It doesn't make me break out. So, I like this one. But anyways, back to the book. I am enjoying it. I think I'm at like 60% or something. I really meant to come talk to you yesterday, but I've been trying to actually make it to work by 8 so that I can leave early tomorrow, and that's not gonna happen because right now it's 8:30. So, yeah. Oh, this is sunscreen, technically. I know that you're supposed to use this to touch up, but it was all I had until I got that La Roche-Posay one. And I am at a point in my life where I want to try and only have one of each type of item. So I'm using this one up. It's fine. I spend all day in an office. I barely see the sun. It's fine. But the book. This book, funnily enough, also had an arranged marriage in it. So our main character, who is the Panther, but she's also like royalty, and is hiding her identity so that she can protect the native people of her country. I think we're in present-day Mexico because they're talking about Oaxaca a lot, and I know for sure that that's in Mexico. So I'm pretty sure we're in Mexico. And she is, ooh, I can't remember what they call themselves. Her stepmother is like the Viscountess or something like that. I can't remember what they're calling themselves. Basically, they're forcing like European royalty ideals onto this country. And they don't necessarily want it. Her stepmom definitely seems to want it, and so does her little brother. But our main character, her dad was the Viscount for a while, and he ended up having her with a native woman, and she spent like 10 years out in the jungle with the rebels. They're calling them the rebels. The Spaniards are calling them the rebels. And that is where she kind of learned to sort of control her magic. Her mentor ended up kicking her out. I'm not completely sure why. I think they might have told me already, but I don't remember. And she ended up coming back, and her stepmother hates her, but her brother likes her, but he's also like stuck trying to perform for the Spaniards because he's technically the Viscount now, even though he's only 14. And her stepmother hates her because she is obviously her husband's bastard daughter. And to top that off, she was born to a native woman. And her disguise, I can't remember what they call her disguise, but she's known as like the witch. Her disguise is, and she is supposed to get arranged marriage to a prince of Spain, but it's kind of fishy. He never sent his portrait while they were like discussing the marriage proposal and everything, and something happens that proves that he's maybe not who he says he is. And I'll leave it at that. But where I am now, they tried to go through with the marriage, and then somebody stopped the marriage because of a reason that they shouldn't get married. You know, that part of a wedding where the officiant is like, if anybody has objections, now is the time, or whatever. I don't know. My wedding didn't have that because we eloped, and it was just my mom and brother there. Nobody had objections, but she ends up pretending to be not pretending, she ends up like putting on her disguise and breaking this guy out of prison, and then they go to the jungle and end up joining the rebels because they became aware of a plot for the Spaniards to find the rebels and attack them and basically destroy their colony. So they go there to warn them. The rebels aren't exactly friendly to her because she's obviously not one of them. And I think that's where I ended yesterday. I am hoping to finish it today. And then we're going to the hot springs tomorrow. I think I might focus on Illumicrate books while I'm in the hot springs. So I don't know if you'll see any of that in this vlog. I might insert just a little clip just to give you a taste. But I don't think I'm going, well, I have one one FAIRYLOOT book that the audio is about to return on. So maybe I'll start that one today. And if I don't finish it before we leave, I'll take it with me and finish it up before I work on the Illumicrate books. I'm not sure. Well, we'll have to wait and see how today and tomorrow go. That's my FAIRYLOOT update. It's going pretty well. These books are going a lot better than the Illumicrate books did. Unfortunately for Illumicrate. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go. I will check in with you maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. I haven't decided yet. We'll have to wait and see what I finish. I'll check in with you later. Bye. Howdy, folks. I'm coming at you to talk to you about a new FAIRYLOOT book that I started 2 days ago, maybe. I started Foul Heart Huntsman. So it's not originally the one that I was planning to read, but it's the one that's getting returned to the library soon, so I kind of need to read it. I don't think I've updated this vlog, but I'm house sitting, so excuse the new background. Foul Heart Huntsman, I can't really tell you much about the synopsis and everything because it is the sequel to Foul Lady Fortune, so if I tell you much about what's going on, I'm going to accidentally spoil that book for you. I just know it. But I can tell you that the series Foul Lady Fortune and Foul Heart Huntsman are interconnected to These Violent Delights and Our Violent Ends. So if you liked that series, this series is a continuation of that, kind of. So it's like a different storyline, but not the same people for the most part, but like people who are connected to the people from that other series. I'm liking it. It's not my favorite Chloe Gone. I think I like Immortal Longings a lot more than the Immortal Shanghai series, I think is what these four are called. I have not read either of the novellas, the one that goes with the other duology, or I can't remember what the one for this series is called, but I can picture it. It has like a phone on the front. I haven't read either of those. I do think that I'm not going to end up keeping this one because I've already unhauled Foul Lady Fortune. I don't think it's made its way out of my Pingo shop yet. I'm pretty sure it's still sitting up in my books closet, but I don't think I'm going to change my mind. I like them, not enough to reread them. And I have Immortal Longings, and then the sequel is actually going to be in the next FAIRYLOOT vlog, Fileless Things, because I got the first one from FAIRYLOOT and then I ordered the sequel when it came out. And I think I'll end up keeping those two and getting rid of this series. I think the series just isn't for me. Which makes sense because the first duology, I'm pretty sure, is a Romeo and Juliet retelling, and Romeo and Juliet is a book that I absolutely hated. So I don't know why I thought I would enjoy those books, but it's whatever. I don't have much else to tell you since it's a sequel and I don't want to like ruin the story for you. But I will check back in probably when I finish it because I'm almost halfway through and I need to finish it today or tomorrow before the audiobook returns. So I'll check back in then. It may or may not be at this house. I don't know. Because I need to also work on The Raven Scholar, but that's not a book that has a time frame for me to finish it, so we'll see. Let me see if I can get the dogs I'm taking care of to come say hello. There's Charlie. And here's Rue. Aren't they cute? Those are the dogs that we're taking care of. I'm also taking care of a cat and 4 chickens, but they're a lot less work. I pretty much just go play with the cat for a couple hours a day, and then I let the chickens out and put them back in and check for their eggs and check their food and water. So I'm gonna go now because I'm honestly running pretty late for work. I meant to be there by 8:30 and it's 8:26, so that's obviously not happening. I don't have a meeting until 9:30 though, and I'm leaving early tomorrow because I've worked late so many nights this week, so it's probably fine. I just wanted to leave even earlier tomorrow. Oh well, it's fine. Welcome back. I have finished my final book for this vlog. I finished Foul Heart Huntsman, I think almost a week ago at this point. I haven't really had a ton of time to vlog, but I finished this. I ended up giving it 4 stars, and I think I actually liked this better than the first one. I don't remember a ton from the first one. I just remember that it's about a secret agent in China. I'm pretty sure most of this is in China. And she has the code name Fortune, and it turns out that she is technically like immortal, and there are like experiments being done on people in China, and primarily like people that she works with, and she is immortal. She is kind of like, if I'm being honest, it reminds me of the Wolverine storyline, where he was experimented on and ends up having regeneration capabilities and essentially being immortal. We later find out that he's not completely immortal, but it's a similar storyline, and I think that's part of why I liked this one more than These Violent Delights, I think is what the first duology is called. There are 2... There might only be one. There might only be one for this duology. There is a novella. I can't remember what it's called. It's like One Violent Call or something like that. I don't think I'll be reading that because I didn't like these that much. Like, this one was 4 stars. I think the first one, I don't know what I originally rated it, but thinking back on it, I would only give it 3. But I got rid of the first one, and I didn't have the special FAIRYLOOT edition of the first one anyways, so I think this one is going to go. It's a very pretty book though. I don't know if I ever showed you the cover and stuff. This is like a bluish silver foiling, and then the back's just plain. I did special order this one. That was a mistake on my part. I am trying not to do that anymore. I did it again with Owl Crate because I got the Spell Shop last year, and everyone told me I would love it, and I haven't gotten time to read it yet. So I went ahead and I ordered the Enchanted Greenhouse edition that they put out a couple of months ago. So I am working on it. I am a work in progress. I still cannot help myself sometimes, but I am trying to be better. I'm trying to get my TBR down. And we are strongly considering moving to Arkansas, which is like halfway across the country from us, next year. That's where my family and my partner's family are from. And the cost of living in Arkansas is a lot more affordable. And we could probably buy a house at this point if we lived there. But because of that, I just I gotta get rid of books. I can't be moving 500 books across the country right now. I can't do it. So this one's gonna go. The other 2 that I read were Son of Blood and Ruin and The Hurricane Wars, and the sequel for Son of Blood and Ruin actually came in from the library, so I'll probably read that in the next couple of weeks and decide if I want a copy of that, and if I don't, I might get rid of the first one too. But I liked it a lot, so for now I'm keeping it. We'll just have to see how the rest of the series plays out. And The Hurricane Wars, I have the sequel to that on hold because that has also come out since I got that book. I'm pretty sure I talked about it in the vlog before, but it's really sad that FAIRYLOOT's customer service just really sucked a couple of years ago when I needed their help. And I will not be going back to them probably ever, if I'm being honest. And because of that, this is just like a fun little extra vlog. I will give you the stats of how many I keep and how many I don't, but I will not be keeping this one because I don't have it anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this. I know I enjoyed the books. I had a good time, and I have the audio for 2 of the remaining 3. And I actually I have a TJ Klune book also from FAIRYLOOT, but it's on my 25 and 25, so I'm not going to count that in this vlog. I don't have high hopes for it, though. I do think I will probably get rid of that one after I read it. But I will let you know once I do read that. And yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. But this is the end of the vlog, so thank you for watching. I hope you had fun seeing... I think I might have put Hot Springs footage in this vlog. If I didn't, it's in the next Illumicrate vlog that's coming out. But we had a good time. I had a good time with these books. I'm excited to get to the rest of the books. I have another Chloe Gong in the pile for next vlog. And I hope that that one will come out in the next month or so, because I have the books on audio already, so there's no reason for me to not read them. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you're having an okay time wherever you are. And if you have nothing to put in the comments below, leave me... Is there an arrow emoji? An arrow emoji for this, or a heart, your favorite heart for the Foul Heart Huntsman cover. Yeah. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.